Probably the biggest mistake in watercolor happens before you even dip your brush in water. When you watch a professional paint, it looks effortless, like they just start and it works. But there's one thing you don't see. You don't see what's happening inside the painter's mind before they begin. It's a surprisingly complex series of decisions, questions, and answers, so practiced, so automatic, that the painter no longer even realizes they're making them. If you're just starting out, it pays to build a list of questions and steps to run through in your head before you begin painting. You'll use this list, and soon you won't need to think about it anymore. But you'll know it. You'll do it automatically. Today, we'll look at the first 3 questions you want to have answered. Ask them before you sketch, before you paint, and watch what changes. As you keep painting this way, you'll eventually realize you're not using the checklist anymore. You'll start thinking about everything naturally, and that's exactly the point. In art, it's no good having your hands tied by lists and rules. But while you're still learning, building the right habits is what matters most. Painting begins long before the brush. Most people think painting starts when you dip your brush. It doesn't. It starts much earlier, and this is where it's often decided whether a painting will work or not. Painting asks you to make a surprising number of decisions. From the moment you start thinking about making a painting, all the way to the moment it's finished. Each decision shapes the next one. If you get some of the early steps wrong or skip them entirely, you'll still end up with a painting, but you probably won't be happy with the result. So in today's video, we'll talk about the very first things to think about before you start sketching or painting. 3 questions an experienced painter asks automatically. Question 1. What do I want to paint, and why this? At this point, there's no painting, no sketch. You just have the intention to create something. Maybe a beautiful landscape caught your eye. Or you saw a sweet little dog and want to paint it as a gift for the owner. Or maybe you want to practice your watercolor skills by painting some drapery. These are 3 very different situations. If you were drawn to nature, you know exactly what you're going to paint, a landscape. Your goal might be to create a piece someone would hang on their living room wall. Or maybe you want to paint that sweet dog to brighten someone's day. Or if you're training by painting drapery, the purpose is practice, an experiment with color. The result doesn't even have to be a finished painting. An experienced painter usually chooses a subject they have some connection to. You'll notice that many painters create entire series around similar motifs. One painter loves landscapes, another focuses on urban scenes, another studies animals through their work. So it's a good idea to paint what you enjoy, what excites you, or something you want to show the world. And that leads naturally to a closely related question. What do you want your future painting to say? Question 2. What do I want to tell the viewer? Other people will see your painting. What do you want it to stir in them? There are so many possibilities. Maybe you want the painting to carry a feeling, the feeling of a beautiful landscape. Or maybe you want to capture and pass on the mood of a hot summer day by the water. Or maybe you want your painting to tell a story. Simply put, what should happen when someone looks at your painting? What feeling do you want to create? Do you want the viewer to realize something? To notice something? To be moved? To be shaken? To be unsettled? Yes, a watercolor painting can evoke all kinds of emotions, moods, and trains of thought. And that power is in your hands before you even start painting. A watercolor painting is not a photograph. A photograph captures reality. A watercolor captures your way of seeing reality, or your feeling about it. That's a big difference. A watercolorist doesn't need to paint precise shapes or perfectly sharp details, but they should know how to carry a feeling, an idea across to the viewer. So before you paint, try saying one sentence that captures what you want the painting to express. For example, a pair of storks is reuniting at their nest, and I want to capture that moment. Or, the cherries are ripe at the peak of spring. All you'd need is a ladder to go pick them. Or, a study of a peacock's head. Or, an abandoned house in the embrace of beautiful nature. The more vivid your story, the better prepared you are to paint. Probably the worst idea is to paint because you want to paint something but don't really know what. So, I don't know, maybe a boat on the sea? An approach like that might work out, but the viewer may sense that something is missing. What's missing is your story, your intention, what you wanted to say. The third question flows naturally from what we've already touched on. Question 3. Who will see it, and what should it give them? You'll probably want to show your painting to other people. Then again, maybe not. It's good to know who the painting is for. You'll paint differently if the piece is meant for an exhibition. You'll approach it differently if it's for your painting teacher who's guiding you, and you'll paint it differently still if it's going into a private sketchbook. A visual journal you keep as a diary. Painting is a form of communication. Your painting will stir something in the viewer. Your job as a painter is to shape that communication. What do you want your painting to spark in the people who see it? Think of it simply. If you taped a piece of paper on your front door that read, "What kind of mood are you bringing home?" you'd trigger a rational thought. The person might realize they don't have to carry their work problems through the door. But if instead of a sign, you painted a warm, smiling portrait, it might subconsciously set everyone who walks in to expect smiles. So always try to imagine what your painting should stir in the viewer, what it should say to them, what information or story it should carry. Most of us who paint watercolor for the joy of it, paint for ourselves and for the viewer. For ourselves, because we want to capture, or try to capture, a situation or a mood. And when we succeed, it becomes easier to find viewers who see it too. Exercise. Try asking yourself these questions about other people's work first. Open a book, a magazine, or go to an exhibition. With every piece, ask yourself the same questions. Think about what the artist might have wanted to say. This is how you'll train yourself to think about what you're planning to paint. You'll see, it's a matter of practice. After a few paintings, it'll come easily. And after a few dozen, you'll start sensing it without even asking the questions. So write down these questions and practice answering them honestly. What do I want to paint, and why? What do I want to tell the viewer? Who am I painting for, and what should it stir in them? You can even try writing it as a single sentence, like a story. Example: 2 Neophema parrots were sitting on a perch I bought for them recently. I painted this for my own joy in their beautiful colors. What I want to say is that peace and togetherness are beautiful values. In one sentence, sweet, contented little birds sitting on a perch. In the next episode, we'll look at how these answers shape your very first physical decision, format and composition. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have questions, drop them in the comments. Tell me, how do you make your decisions before you paint? Next time, we'll talk about more questions a watercolorist should ask before they start sketching and painting.